Welcome to the second episode of Real Fun Times. Hello, Drea. How are you?
I am well. I am the doctor. That is Snowy.
Yes, I am.
And we're super excited you're here because this movie.
That we have so much to unpack today.
It's gonna be a time and a half.
Yeah, like whittling this down to less than like 6 hours is probably gonna be.
I got a hard job ahead of me.
Yeah,
in the editing booth.
The team is gonna.
They're gonna be doing some overtime.
Oh.
So what are we watching? What are we talking about tonight?
We are talking about the 1987 film Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
An instant classic, I would say.
This movie, I don't know why it doesn't have a bigger
Audience
cult following.
Or maybe we just don't know about it. This is a gem.
Yeah. We don't want to give it all away up front.
No, we
our feelings.
We mustn't. But I definitely had a fantastic life watch with this.
Yeah, this was
just
so much fun.
A lot of fun for sure. But let's go ahead and start with your live watch intro.
Let's. Today's film is the 1987 Hard Ticket to Hawaii. In Molokai, two undercover drug enforcement agents are after a vicious drug kingpin, but on the way they will also have to deal with a contaminated giant python.
What? This sounds promising.
This is...
I'm into it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Just from the jump.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
Actually, this was one of the doctor's picks.
Indeed.
So not only did she pick it from the sombrero last week, but she also, this is what she threw in, and you didn't really know...
anything about it. I can't even tell you how I picked it.
Okay, that's my next question.
I don't even have a good story to tell here. It simply is.
And thank God for it.
Thank God,
yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit of Noel's cast talk.
All right, so this film stars Ron Moss as Rowdy. Now, Ron is definitely the biggest name in this movie. You will know him as Rich Forrester from the long-running soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He was also in the band Player from the 70s. They had a one-hit wonder. It was Baby Come Back. Look it up. You will be mesmerized.
It's
a fantastic song.
You will like it.
But apparently, I did not know this. He has actually had a decent amount of work the past decade or so.
I have not seen him.
Yeah, because he's not on Bold and Beautiful any longer. Someone else is now doing that role. It's a show called The Bay, which I've not heard of.
Like Baywatch?
No, it seemed...
a different Bay.
Yeah, do you remember that show? Was it Silk Stockings that used to come on, like USA in the 90s? It looked, from just the tiny bit of research I did, looked like maybe a show like that. Okay. I could be totally wrong. Baywatchers could be like, this bitch does not know what she's talking about.
You.
There's, I believe it's The Agency, and there's another show he's on, and he was in the animated film Bolt, about the dog.
Yes, yeah. Bruce Willis, I believe.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So he was also in that. We also have Donna Spear playing Donna.
What? What a stretch.
And I love her IMDb describes her as the shapely and statuesque blonde knockout.
I'm going to guess that's big boobs?
Yeah, that's big boobs, yeah.
Yes.
We'll get to that. And so the guy who wrote, directed, and actually had a bit in this film, his name is Andy Sidaris. And so when I went to her IMDb page, she hasn't done anything since 93. But she was in a lot of his...
Andy's a girl?
No, Andy's a dude. No. That's the guy that, wrote, directed, and...
Gotcha. That was going to blow my mind.
Oh, my God.
I've been wrong about this whole thing.
It even says on her IMDb page that she stars in the Andy Sidaris collection. So she was in multiple...
collection?
Yeah, of his films. And they're all the same type of movie. That
we're going to have to maybe do a deep dive on Mr. Sidaris.
Because
I really like this one.
Then we have Hope Marie Colton as Taryn. The only things that we would maybe know her from. She was in Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Dream Master.
Oh, yes.
And then most recently, a series called Hotel Erotica.
Oh, I'm new to
Sounds
that
like
one.
a late night Skinamax situation, I think. And then Harold Diamond. Harold Diamond plays a character named Jade. He was in Rambo 3.
Is he the
As Ponytail.
Oh,
As Ponytail.
Side pony.
Yes. And I've got more on him.
I really enjoyed Side Pony in all the ways you can enjoy it.
But he's an actual kickboxer.
He was doing some real moves.
Yes, he actually...
You could tell, that was him.
And he was known in the kickboxing arena for his ponytail and wearing jeans into the ring.
The Side Pony is an original?
That's an original.
He brought that to the movie?
That was just his look. And he said, you know what? Where I go, this ponytail
is non-negotiable.
Goes. This side braid. And it even looked like in 2017.
Side braid. That's exactly right. It wasn't even a ponytail.
It was a side braid.
It was a braid.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And in 2017, he was in the movie King Arthur, and the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah,
He's actually
with
had work.
The guy from the motorcycle show, Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
It had that blonde guy that's real handsome.
Yeah, he is handsome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the first that I've I've never watched that movie.
You didn't see that show?
No.
Or the movie?
I mean, I know. I've heard about them. Yeah, I've heard about both of them, but I never. Delved into either.
The show was fun.
So those are going to be like our 4 really main people. Mm-hmm. So as far as ratings on the interwebs for this movie,
what did we get?
And I made a mistake on last week's episode.
Yes, we had a little correction.
Yeah,
here.
a little asterisk, a little addendum.
Whoops-a-daisies.
My bad. So on IMDb, they actually do a 1 to 10 rating scale. I said they were 1 to 5. And so we were very impressed by Lavalantula's rating. Like, oh man, IMDb loves that shit.
Knocked it out of the park.
Apparently they don't. So on IMDb, this movie has a 4.9 out of 10.
Okay.
On Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter is at 17%.
17.
45% audience score. And then with Prime, out of 5, they've got 4.5 stars.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we're at as far as this movie and who we've got in it and what we're thinking leading into the opening credits.
Well, that was wonderful cast talk. Thank you very much, Snowy. So we're going to start here with a clip we like to call A Nice Pair. Basically what's happening is right away we see boobs. This DEA chick is making out with who we like to call Ken Doll, who is
Ramos. Mm-hmm. Or Rowdy in the film.
Is that his name?
Rowdy.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Use with the knockers.
Her boobs look real, right?
Those are real. These are 87 boobs.
Because if they weren't, they would.
Are you all right? Those were a good pair.
They were a good pair.
I'm impressed.
I would not be unhappy if I was with a lady, and
I wouldn't be unhappy if they were mine.
So, opening scene, you've got Rowdy and a blonde woman who we find out is Donna on his boat, the Malibu Express, which, fun fact, that was another one of Andy Sidaris's movies, was Malibu Express.
Oh.
So that was a little old tip of the hat.
Oh. And I said she's a DEA agent because I think somewhere in this conversation during the makeout they say something about her being an agent.
They keep referring to the agency.
But
we
throughout the entire movie, I'm confused as to what they are, and oftentimes refer to her and her upcoming friend as the pilots.
Yeah. And he offers her, he's like, hey, you can come with me to Honolulu. And she's like, no, I've got to go to Molokai. I've got stuff going on there.
She's got stuff going on, that's right.
She says something about, you can't, what am I going to do, go to Honolulu with you and play you Tarzan, me Jane?
Me Jane, yes.
And he's like, huh, and just looks chiseled.
Very good looking guy, for sure.
Yeah.
So this takes us to our next live watch clip, which we named Snowy Loves Harold, into the opening credits, which were some of the best opening credits
Unbelievable.
I've seen.
Harold Diamond's in this movie. What?
I don't know Harold.
I don't either. I was just.
I totally bought it. Snowy loves Harold. She's a huge fan. You got me there, Snowy. You got me. This opening scene, what's happening in these credits?
So, these guys all working, moving big, boxes.
A bunch of crates.
A bunch of crates. Thank you. I was like wooden boxes. I can't. And so obviously they were like, we have to save money on these opening credits.
Uh-huh.
And they do the same thing with like the end credits as well. And they just have these crates with a printed out piece of brown paper with people's names on them.
Yes, absolutely. You could see where it had been like
stapled,
glued,
or like
stapled, whatever. Taped. There were various forms of adhesion.
It was amazing. But I feel like they were like, we got to save money out in the budget. We got to shave it off because they spent all of their money on the locale.
Oh, yes.
Because the one thing I will give this movie is there are some really gorgeous shots of Hawaii in this movie. Like truly, they clearly spent all their money there. So they were like, we are going to go to the office. We're going to print out some stuff. And that's what we're doing.
Absolutely. During those right at the end of those opening credits, we see the first glimpse of the snake.
Oh, yes.
And this is kind of clever what they've done because they use those opening credits and kind of smoothly segued into the beginning of the movie and the issue with the contaminated snake,
yes.
which is hysterical all on its own.
Yeah, it's obviously, it's gigantic. It is angry. Its eyes are a little close together.
It looks sickly.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with that thing.
Yes, it is indeed contaminated.
It's so contaminated. The whole time I wonder with what, and I've made many guesses. And when we find out what it is,
it's
boy oh boy. Just you wait. But this brings us to the next live watch clip. Business casual. What's going on here is the pilots, they're very comfortable with each other, these roommates.
Yes.
After the makeout session with Kendall, she goes home to hang out with her roomie, and they're just topless immediately together.
She came up, and her roommate, who is Taryn, was coming up from the beach, and there's a outdoor shower in the open connected to a tree, and she just takes off her top and
right, yeah. They had an interesting dynamic, these two.
Yes, and you find out that the reason Taryn is with this agent is because she was an informant, and she's a witness protection program now, and as part of her staying alive, she's staying with these agents and helping them out with what they need.
So at this point, they are agents. Or at least Big Boobs is.
Big Boobs is an agent. Taryn is not.
But also pilots, or are they fronting as pilots?
They can. Okay, so Donna can definitely fly planes.
The informant.
No, that's Big Boobs. Big Boobs can fly the plane.
But she's a DEA agent. Some sort of agent.
She's an agent.
So this is a side gig?
It's their cover.
It is their cover while they're doing this thing in Hawaii.
Yes.
Got it. Oh man, this is really coming together for me now. So let's get back to that clip, business casual. I like her outfit.
I mean, I like it too, but I feel like if it's supposed to be...
Do you want to be her on Halloween?
Kind of.
I'll be the girl from La Valantula.
Like, they can't be their work outfits, right? They were like little rompers, if
super high cut off shorts.
Like their asses hang out
completely.
And then it's definitely
very
the
low
cleavage game is pretty.
And weren't some of them cut off? Oh, no,
that's
later.
It's
later.
later.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. There's so much.
And they have some nice Western cowboy boots to go with it, and they're very layered, very fluffy blonde hair.
Yes. definitely. Very 80s, I would
Yes,
say.
I mean,
screaming 80s.
I feel like if any movie says the 80s to you,
oh
it's
yes.
hard ticket to Hawaii.
Every time.
Yeah.
And what's going on here is they find out what the cargo is going to be, which is, do you recall?
They have to take 2 people to a campsite.
2 newlyweds.
They have to take the snake.
They were very newlyweddy.
Yes.
And the snake, right, which should have been just a normal old snake.
Yeah. Going to the wildlife preserve.
That's it. The name of our next clip, theme song. You know I love it when they say the name of the movie in the movie.
I know. It's not paradise all the time.
Not always.
Don't get it twisted.
It's a hard ticket, okay? It's not no easy ticket. I'm gonna put this as my new ringtone.
Could you be my ringtone?
Yes. We definitely need to do that.
Seriously. That song's been stuck in my head since we watched this movie last week.
I love it so much.
It's...
It turns a frown upside down.
Yeah. I find myself at work, just sitting there at my computer, just being like,
the passion.
It's not paradise all the time,
you know,
Drea.
and they're upfront about that.
Yeah, they'll let you know.
This is the real world.
Yeah. It's beautiful here.
Probably the most beautiful place you'll ever be, but it's a hard ticket to Hawaii. That's the moral of this.
That's
tale.
The real life lesson.
That's the moral here. We got it early.
And the newlywed couple in the back, like they look like they are about to bone at any minute.
Hard, yeah. They're containing their passion as being difficult.
Yes, indeed.
It's a challenge. This was unexpected for me. I wasn't ready. I think they're walking after
dropping off the couple,
leaving the newlyweds who needed badly needed alone time.
Yes,
they were gonna head out. They were gonna peace out. They're headed back to their airplane, I guess.
Yeah, to go drop stuff off.
A mini chopper arrives out of nowhere.
It looks like a drone. This movie was way ahead of its time.
In lots of ways.
Yes. Well, yes.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mini chopper lands. The pilots are like, "What's going on?" And then all of a sudden, a couple of thugs arrive.
And by thugs, we mean a large Hawaiian guy and some dude with a bowl cut and crazy, almost hammer pants.
Yes. And then all of a sudden, weapons are drawn. One of the pilots has ninja stars out of her boot or something.
The other one's got nunchucks,
yes.
And they're ready to go. And they kick the shit out of these guys.
The thugs had no chance.
No, they didn't see it coming.
They were ill prepared.
And the ladies take what is in the small drone helicopter.
The helicopter lands and the door opens by itself.
And they're like, who could be flying this?
And they reach in there and they take out 2 little silver boxes. One of those silver boxes falls on the ground, but they take the other one.
Yes.
The thugs are beaten, discouraged, upset, throwing a bit of a tantrum, if I recall, because, those broads beat us. And so the pilots get away, and they land on a golf course where they're going to drop off the snake, and then they decide this will be a good time to hit up the jacuzzi, because this is where we do some of our best thinking.
End quote.
Next, we have a clip we like to call Best Joke. Basically, the boss is pissed that the thugs let the couple of broads beat them up and get away with the goods, which at this point we still don't know what's in those boxes. Goods. Plus getting a pretty thorough ass kicking, as we noted.
If brains were virgins, you'd have a clean cage.
That's fantastic.
That was amazing. I have thought about that line so much and applied it to some people that I know.
Oh boy.
I mean, it.
Probably on a regular day basis for
Yeah.
me at work, I would say.
So they have the thugs have gone to meet their direct boss at this restaurant in Hawaii called Edie's, who has the most inappropriate host.
This restaurant is something else, and probably the most popular restaurant in town.
Seems
I
to
would
be.
say a
All
lot
of
happens
Molokai.
at Edie's. it's for this movie one of the main places we will
Right, definitely one
be.
of our main backdrops for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought at this point, mistakenly so, that this might be the bad guy. Now he is a consistently bad guy through the movie, but kind of turns out to be middle management. This takes us to our next clip, which is one we called Topless Again. This time we find ourselves with the pilots during jacuzzi time. They've come to find diamonds in that little silver case.
Yeah.
That's what the big deal is here. Her boobs are gigantic. Do you just hang out with your buddies with
No. I'm not, but I wasn't raised in like a naked house. Like I don't do the whole like I never diamonds.
No wonder they tried to kill us.
If I didn't have a top on, I wouldn't be that close to another person.
How many women fly around?
I'd be like on the opposite side of the
Yeah,
field.
unless it's like sexy time. Like I've
like
never
I
been
wouldn't be like right on top of you, like diamonds.
No wonder.
So many good points here.
Yeah, so they are in the hot tub. Literally, we're like, they're definitely gonna do it. They don't, but
Miraculously, they
I don't know how. Maybe there's an X-rated version that we did not see.
There was a deleted scene.
Yeah, but they've got diamonds above the jacuzzi water. Like they're not marbles, ho. Like they are diamonds, and as you guys assess very astutely, they are worth a fortune.
Oh yes, it's definitely the crux of the movie now.
And they decide that upon this discovery, they have to go to Edie's and talk to Edie.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go do some stuff. That actually leads us to our next clip because they're gonna have a little girl talk before some stuff goes down with some thugs.
Yeah.
So that takes us to this clip that we're calling 4 Inches.
You know? So tell me the truth, Don, about Rowdy. How's his stuff? Great.
His stuff?
He's got 4 inches. 4 inches? That's not so hot. Yes, it is. I measured him from the ground up.
I don't understand.
She said his dick hangs so low, it's only 4 inches between the end of his dick and the ground. 4 inches before his dick hits the ground.
Right. It seems like I'm naive. Because that one flew way over my head. Noelle, though, you caught that right away.
I did.
You enjoyed that one.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was pretty good. Pretty good.
And then, like, I love how Big Boobs, like, tussled Taryn's hair and was like, haha, silly.
You.
Like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's huge schlong.
Diamonds. So that takes us to the next clip here. This one we're calling Contaminated. This is where the old boss man calls the pilots. And he tells them, oh, guys, guess what? There's been a switcheroo. That snake that you guys took, it's actually contaminated. It's bad news.
Bad news bears.
And he's just going off about how dangerous it is. Stay away from it, that kind of stuff.
We had a snake delivered here for the Department of Health. Now that snake has been infected by deadly toxins from cancer-infested rats.
What?
It's a very dangerous snake. It'll kill anybody it comes in contact with. Are you still there, Donna?
Yeah, Jason.
Cancer?
All right.
Yeah.
My orders made a mistake.
Wowee. I was not ready, Snowy.
No.
I was not ready for that to be the contaminated portion of the movie.
Of all the things I felt like, in 87, this python could have been contaminated with cancer-infested rats that it was given as a snack.
Would have never guessed.
No. Like, if you had
The
told me, like, the
imagination-
Soviet Union had fucked with this snake and Gorbachev was, what?
I would have bought that.
Yeah. And Russians were like, they were
They were
bad,
big.
They were bad
They were
guys
big in the 80s.
Yeah.
They were big.
And I would like to take a moment to step back real quick before, when they hear, the ladies, the pilots, hear that they're going to have a snake that they have to take. Taryn says, but there's never been any snakes on the island.
That's right.
Because
we
she's
found
a
this to
Hawaiian
be,
snake expert.
We found this to be a bit far-fetched.
Yeah.
I would say. First snake ever on the island.
And he's like, it's going to the wildlife preserve. It's
Perhaps
fun.
you're not familiar with islands. Is this your first island?
Well,
Then yes, this is the first snake.
I hate to break it to you. First snake you know about.
Oh my, oh my. The ladies, the pilots, they have this harrowing experience with the second pair of thugs, and they decide, you know what, let's get cleaned up. Let's head back out to Edie's.
Edie's, it's the place.
People cannot get enough
They
of
love
Edie's. And I'm tempted. I would love to have some Edie's right now.
Yeah, right?
That or the ice cream.
I was like, wait, what?
You weren't ready.
I wasn't. It was pretty
Oh,
good.
man. Well, was
I
it?
love ice cream.
I could go for some right now.
God.
So that takes us to this next Life Watch clip, and this one's called "Ballsy Hostess Gets Slammed." Now I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the ballsiest hostess I've ever seen.
My goodness. I mean,
He's something else.
Yeah.
Something else. So we have a fancy night out on the town. This guy gets put in his place pretty good. I enjoyed it.
like, I feel like it's just been real casual for two people to have just broken into their home and brandished weapons in their face. Like, oh, now it's time to
shot
go.
somebody in the face.
And
It's
now it's
cocktail
time to go
hour.
out.
Look at you two. Every shot a postcard. I'm gonna give you the best seat in the house.
Oh, and where's that?
You can sit right here on my face.
Why?
Wow.
Nose bigger than your dick?
Oh, she said, is your nose bigger than your dick?
Oh, Snowy. You were a fan of that.
I
line.
loved that. But what kills me is the host with the most was undeterred by it.
Didn't skip a beat.
He was like, still got it. Like, I mean, just.
So it's a maybe.
I get off at 10.
You could too.
Well played.
I feel like I'm the hostess. Now, next, we're seeing in the movie, all of a sudden, the pace is jarring. It's hard to keep
it's a
pace
lot
with
of-
what's going on. There's a lot of introductions of characters suddenly, like this guy who loves vitamins.
Yeah.
And he's at, I want to say Edie's, if I'm not mistaken.
They're in Edie's, yes.
And he's preaching vitamins to these two guys that look like they couldn't be more disinterested in this situation.
I guess they're supposed to be college football players. Or
I guess he's some sort of sports announcer that used to be in a sport of some sorts, but isn't anymore, has switched to announcing. It's all very blurry.
Yeah, it's
what's happening with these people, but this scene, this Life Watch clip, we're calling this one multivitamin.
But my favorite, by far, is vitamin C. Can never take too much of that.
Take 10 grams of ASIB.
Your kidneys will crank out that iridescent green and yellow urine will win you respect in every restroom in the world.
What? He's never heard of a multivitamin.
No.
He
Man,
just
I sure
chugged
love
down
soul
12
food. Right
vitamins.
on, bro.
Man, I sure love soul food.
Oh man.
Okay, all right. So, good old Jimmy John is extolling all the benefits of various
God.
vitamins.
You guys, we haven't even discussed this guy's name. She's not exaggerating. It's Jimmy John.
And, you know, he's going over this vitamin shit to these two bored-ass, beefy fucks. And then they get either, like, I couldn't tell if it was a pina colada. And the doctor's take was it was a peach milkshake. We're not sure. It gets sat down in front of one of them. The other one gets, I guess, a cocktail. And then the milkshake boy is like, man, I sure do love soul food. And I was like, what? I have no words. I don't understand.
What's great about that, listeners, is this won't be the last time that we have no words. Our next clip from the live watch, that's going to be called Too Long. Really, the only setup you need to know is that vitamin guy, we'll call him multivitamin, he's making out with one of the pilots. Not the one from Ken doll.
Taryn.
That's the one.
The civilian.
How long do you think this will be?
Too long. I'm already really uncomfortable. So many boob close-ups.
There were many. I mean, I feel like to this point, and we're not even halfway through the film, guys. I've seen a lot of boobs.
I'm not complaining.
Not a complaint, simply an observation. I haven't seen this many boobs in a film, not just the same pair. It's almost all the women have shown their boobs.
Yeah.
No, these people weren't unattractive.
No, I mean,
I particularly had a thing for side braid myself.
Oh,
and Kendall,
Jade.
obviously.
Yeah.
He's a perfect specimen.
Yeah.
The lean, taut muscle.
Super broad shoulders.
The beautiful,
incredibly chiseled
hair.
jawline.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't need him to be smart.
No. Don't talk.
Mm-hmm. But did you catch what they're doing? Where they're going? Why?
So when the girls had gone to see, the pilots had gone to see Edie at the bar, you know, they called him and they were like, yo, there's some major drug stuff going down on Molokai. I shot so-and-so in the face. Like, y'all have to get here. And Kendall was like, oh, and we're coming and we're bringing our box of toys. AKA, they're AKs.
Indeed.
So, like, their big box of guns. I don't know how they got it through customs. I guess it was 87, like, you know, whatever.
It was such a different time in 87 when it comes to air travel. My Lord.
Yeah.
You can get away with lots, you guys. And I know because I'm Colombian. You know. So our next clip here from the live watch, we're calling this one Side Braids and Sex Dolls. The setup for this clip, what's happening in the movie is the thugs have come after the bros.
And this is the same, the thugs that got beat up by the girls earlier. So it's the
Ninja
large,
Star
yep.
Hawaiian guy, which, oh man, there's a delightful part of the live watch that you guys aren't going to hear. But Noelle catches a glimpse of a pair of earrings that she must have. Do you remember those earrings?
I do. It's the skeleton earrings.
The skeleton earrings.
I wanted them.
You just were bowled over by that.
I was, yeah. I loved them.
Forever, for the rest of my life, I will be in search of those earrings.
God,
for you.
I hope
it's
you
my
find
new
them.
mission.
Like they were. I'm a Halloween enthusiast.
Real fun times, listeners. Please, if you see these earrings, let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's Hawaiian guy and hammer pants bowl cut.
That description is on point. Love it.
Man, he must be smoking some heavy doobies.
Oh, heavy doobies.
Heavy doobies. Oh my god, his fucking braid is a side braid. It's not even pulled around. It is a side braid.
Is that the guy that got ninja starred?
Yes.
In a sex doll?
Yep. There's so much to unpack.
That's a weird way to catch someone. That is a weird way.
I think they're gone now. Yep.
Wow. When you said there's so much to unpack here, you nailed it.
I wasn't joking.
You sure weren't. What is happening?
Let me tell you. So they are on their way and they see Hammer Pants Bowl Cut literally doing a handstand on the skateboard going down the Hawaiian highways. And that's when he was like, this guy's on some doobies or, whatever. The lingo that you use. He skateboards on his hands down to Hawaiian guy and he's like, that's them. Let's get them. He grabs a sex doll.
You guys may think she's kidding when she says skateboards on his hands to them.
I mean, I will say it was pretty impressive. Like, obviously, the guy was hired for this reason.
And we know that because of the end credits, which we stuck around for its entirety. Because guess what, folks? More crates. Spoiler alert. That scene, the most perplexing, and there were so many perplexing things, the most perplexing for me, the sex doll. Why?
I mean, I guess if you want to throw somebody off mid-afternoon, just skateboards a sex doll. And it was his way of trying to be elusive and hide the giant gun that he had.
Was that the purpose?
I feel like he could have maybe come up with something a little better. He could have hidden the large brush on either side of the road.
To me, it felt like he was in a relationship with this sex doll and couldn't, hang out without her.
She was the Bonnie to his Clyde, and they were going to go down in a rain of fire together.
He was at work. She happened to be there that day, and he was like, oh,
come on, baby.
You got to come with me. What happens is, well... It's coming up next because the following live watch clip is called Bazooka. And this is the beginning of some wonderful bazooka action. If you were afraid that it would just be this once, let me go ahead and
quell those fears.
Ease those fears for sure. I was going to say quells. I swear to God. And I was like, reel it back. And then you went in for it. Oh my God. Guys, this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Real fun times.
Said the name in the show.
Oh my God, I just got that. Brilliant. Okay, so next clip, bazooka. What's going on here? The bad guy gets a shot off at
Jade.
Side braid.
Yeah, side braid, yep.
Yep. He gets it right in the chest.
Yeah.
But he's okay,
He can still drive the car.
He's going to be fine.
Still man that Jeep.
Once they realize everything's going to be okay, Ken Doll's like, let's go after these guys.
Yeah.
And they chase down...
Hammer Pants.
They chase him down, knock him out with the car. But that's not enough for Ken Doll.
No.
Because what he's going to do is he's going to bazooka his ass, even though he's already clearly dead.
He's been run over.
And he's not the only victim.
No.
We lose someone else, the bazooka.
Let's get that turkey.
He bazookaed him! There goes the sex doll!
He's gonna pull it with the
The bazooka rally?
Best scene in the movie.
Let's get into town and get you patched up.
Wow.
Okay. So, Side Braid is like, you had to use the bazooka for this guy and the sex doll. And Rowdy's response, Kendall, is, I can only hit a moving target if I have the bazooka. Like, this. So apparently he is such a shitty shot and federal agent that unless he's got a bazooka, There's no way he's hitting that target.
And you know what? I'm just realizing that comes back later.
It does.
Okay. Should we go on to our next clip?
I think we should.
I tell you what the next one is called. It's called How Many? But I don't have a description, so let's just jump right ahead.
Let's just see what happens.
Is she one of the two girls from the beginning?
This one?
This redhead?
No.
Okay. They're both blonde.
Yeah. We're getting ready to see her boobs for sure.
We already see them, I think.
I kind of like the dress, though. The dress is fun.
Them. Yep.
Yep, there we go.
Would you say this is the fifth pair?
I think because we've just seen the other ones so much, it seems like the fifth pair. I'm pretty sure it's the fourth pair.
We have seen
gratuitous amounts of areolas. Like so many that even I'm bored.
Oh, now you've crossed the line from hello to goodbye.
I mean, I'm still sticking around the room, but
okay, all right.
you know.
Then you'll be delighted by this, Snowy, because we're moving away from boobs to our next clip, which is entitled Camel Toe. Her pants have such enormous camel toe. I've never in my life...
Do you think somebody would wear that now? Not me.
Oh, yeah.
But crop tops are very popular.
See the amount...
I did not catch the camel toe. I'm going to have to check it out.
Look to the Sahara.
Girl, you got a camel toe.
It's enormous. I would feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, like...
Owie.
It's like you're going to get a yeast infection.
That's ripping into me. That one was mighty.
Yeah.
It looked painful. I was upset for her. I wanted to call her agent.
Yeah, she's gonna have a doctor's
maybe
visit,
her mom. Like someone needs to know.
Gynecologist. That's a specialty charge for the insurance. You gotta pay $10 more.
This poor restaurant owner.
Yeah.
That brings us to our next live clip, one we're calling Progressive. Up to this point, we've had a very interesting few clips with a certain bartender lady.
Yeah.
At Edie's.
Yes. A southern lass. Big, long blonde hair. An affinity for colorful sweaters.
Really?
Cosby collection.
Looking out for stuff. Really observant. Taking it all in.
Maybe a little bit of spying going on here.
Something's
amiss.
Something's afoot.
Oh my goodness!
He's
bald and wearing a G-string. But I will say, she was pretty from kind of a further away situation.
Definitely.
Beautiful bone structure.
This is a progressive movie for the 80s.
Yeah. Which I'm all for.
I'm a little proud.
Yeah. I mean, again.
Kudos.
This movie was ahead of its time in many ways.
So many. We can't count. I mean, we could, but we're not gonna.
Yeah, not time for that.
So, bartender lady turns out to be a
Michael.
Bartender, Mr.
He's
in league. He's in league with the bad guys.
Yes,
it turns out he's part of the thugs.
Yes, and he is.
Have we talked about the female muscular thug? Because she came in strong early on, and I don't know that we've covered it.
I don't think that we have.
She has been a hoot. It's been her and who's been her partner? Kind of like a dumb-witted...
That dumbass...
brunette guy? Yeah.
The synapses are not firing.
And she's just been this goddess.
Aggressive.
Beautiful. So muscular.
She should have been on... what was that show in the 80s? American Gladiators? I love
American Gladiators. You love that show?
I loved
Oh my god!
Daddy
Nitrous?
and I used to watch it. I wanted to Diamond was she was my goddess. Growing up, I just thought she was At this point, yeah, the bad guys are trying to cut Edie off and get to her before she can get to Side Braid and Kendall.
Yes, now, pilots, they're spying on Chad.
I would like to say, we named him Chad. His official name in the movie was Shades. But as soon as we saw him, I was
coming
like,
up later. But yes, we weren't aware of this.
Yeah, so it's called Chad.
And we went with Chad. He's wearing aviators.
Mm-hmm. The shiny kind.
So shiny.
Mirrored aviators. Either light blue or is it a denim button up? With some nicely pleated khakis, loafers.
And not to forget his AK-47.
Yeah, and his AK.
And he's just having a delightful time throwing that frisbee
and
with
I
that
love
random stranger.
There's a chick that comes and throws the frisbee with him.
It's a daily occurrence. And it's a routine. Okay, so after the undercover mission, they get the dirt on Chad. The pilots are going to go interview some sumo wrestlers. I don't know where these guys came from.
They were not going to interview them.
Why they weren't?
They needed a phone, and that was the first place they stumbled upon.
Wait a minute.
Because they had to get with Kendall and Side Braid.
So you're telling me they're looking for aid and stumble upon the sumo wrestlers?
Yeah.
The other thing that's happening here is the pilots go back to get the newlyweds. And what do they stumble upon?
Broken down, maggoty bodies.
Shit went bad because they got attacked by
that python.
That contaminated python. Which is the gift that keeps on giving in this movie.
This should have been called Christmas in Hawaii. Because, my God, the amount of gifts that we got.
I kept forgetting.
Santa couldn't do better.
He can't, and he will try.
Yeah. Got jolly old Saint Nick. Hang it up, buddy.
We would cut to this fucking snake, and it was like a delight every time. Like, oh my God, that's right. On top of all the gold we're fucking getting, there's this goddamn contaminated python with the cancer shit.
All right.
So, the next Life Watch clip we've got here, we call this one Opposing Views. Here we come to a Snowy and Doctor disagreement.
These bitches, particularly that one.
The one on the left or the right? Because I hate the one on the right.
The one with the big boobs?
I hate her.
See, I hate the one on the left with the little ones.
Opposing views.
Yeah.
Big boobs rubbed me wrong.
And little boobs I thought was super annoying.
Didn't rub you at all.
No. Not in the way that I wanted.
The next clip is called Spy-ish.
This is the way I like my martini. Vodka, medium dry, lemon peel, shaken, not stirred.
Oh, no, they didn't.
There's way too many, Bond references in this movie for it to be so shitty.
So
It's categorized as spy. And I have no idea why. What is the spy part of this movie?
Oh.
Is the snake the spy?
Maybe.
I think I nailed it.
You got it.
I'm going to take that home for the win. Next Live Watch here is called Shades. Can you guess what's happening here, Snowy?
I think I know.
What do you think's happened?
I think it's going to be that fuckboy, Chad.
Oh my goodness. You're all over it. Good frisbee throws. See you tomorrow.
That guard's name is Shades.
Shades.
He's the one
It's the formal version of Chad.
They call me Mr. Shades. Oh man, Chad, a great part of the film.
Yeah.
He had such delight in his frisbee throwing.
Yeah.
If I could find a hobby that brought me the delight that Shades had with that
Half as
film.
much joy. Okay. Kendall and Big Boob, they've reconnected. They have gone off in another room, and they are awkwardly alluding to them getting busy, but
there's no illusion.
But it's like you don't like. There's no. It's not like softcore-ish. It's not.
They're trying to be, but it's clear, like, the alignment of the genitals.
And
it would have to be that situation from that joke where it was 4 inches from the ground.
Right. And his dick is just so long.
Oh my God, are they smarter than us? Did they just come full circle?
Maybe.
Next Life Watch clip we have here is quotes to live by. What's happening here is this sex scene finally ends with predictably nonsensical pillow talk.
That was beautifully put. I love that.
Why, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
Well, I do what I can.
One man's dream is another man's lunch.
Quotes to live by.
I can't wait to use that tomorrow. One man's dream
is another man's lunch.
What the fuck does that mean?
It was gross.
It was
but I think I get it.
So choppy. Just there's very little finesse here.
Yes. Yeah.
Next live watch clip we have here is called Bitch Shot. Snowy calls out Side Braid, who calls out Kendall. It's a domino effect. The team assembles by land and air, and they attack the thugs in the bad guy's main mansion.
Yeah. This is middleman leader.
You're right, because at this point we're still thinking this is the main guy.
Right.
But spoiler alert.
No.
Everyone's being real civil, one shot at a time.
You ruined all my glassware.
Oh, got him.
Practice, Rowdy, practice.
He said you have a bitch shot. So, old boy, Kendall just can't shoot for shit.
The ability to use a bazooka with an enemy that is so close just boggles the mind.
I think it sounds like fun.
Well, now I do too. Yeah. I didn't
imagine
before.
The possibilities.
I'm gonna be honest. You've switched me around.
You're welcome. So, they have invaded old boy's compound. They have rescued Edie. They have laid waste to all of his minions.
Live clip here. Toilet explosion. Can you imagine what's happening here, Snowy? If you
One
had
of them
to
had
guess,
a bad burrito.
That's it. So after defeating the bad guy, we think the pilot takes a break in the bathroom and really takes the time to contemplate life.
What's big boobs?
What's the meaning? It
is.
Can't recall, but I'm going to believe you on that. And contaminated python explodes out of the toilet.
With a light show.
It's fantastic.
She coughed into the cloth and then rubbed it all over her chest. Was that her own phlegm that she just rubbed everywhere? Flush it. Oh my
God, I forgot about the fucking snake. Genius fucking movie. This guy's not dead. Now, when we're saying this guy's not dead, what are we talking about here?
We're talking about shot in the face old boy who Big Boobs thinks she's killed him. She didn't bother to do the double tap. He is lying in her living room.
Now, she's jacked him up pretty good.
Yeah,
I think he's got fucking arrow through him. before she shot him in the face, or one of them did. So he's got that. He's got the arrow, and she knifed him.
Yeah. In like the heart area, like you would think.
He just won't go down.
Yeah.
It's
much
unbelievable.
like Michael Myers.
Just like that. Just like that.
Double Tap has gotten up. She's in the bathroom rubbing her own phlegm on herself. The snake has busted up through the toilet. She freaks out. She shuts the door. She gets out of the bathroom. And then she sees that Double Tap is like starting to move and get up. So she hops behind a bed.
He's still not dead. That's fucking right.
He hears the commotion in the bathroom, thinking it's her, that he's going to go get her. He opens the door.
And the snake's like slithering around, knocking down shit. That's right. That's right.
The snake says, I'm going to contaminate you now.
Chomp, chomp.
And his immediate bite causes him to go into
cancer frenzy.
Screams, pain, and he is dead within seconds. She hops back to the other side of the bed, grabs the little mini handgun out of her bedside table. She shoots it. She's a hell of a shot. She gets it, but it doesn't do anything to deter the snake. What happens next? Kendall busts through the side of her house on a motorbike.
On a motorcycle. In fact, this motorcycle, they thought they had won the day.
Yeah.
They got into their A-team van. There was 4 or 5 of them in the back, a couple in the front. They're having a great time. They realize, oh no, we forgot about whatever.
Right.
And that's when Kendall zooms out of the back of the A-team van on the motorcycle.
Yeah. And we don't know where there was room for it in there.
There wasn't room for it. It was not visible in any other scenario.
I think that we would call that, Drea, poor editing.
Oh my, oh me. Genius. Mwah. And we call that the chef's kiss.
So where are we now?
We're at the next live watch clip, which we're calling No One Says It. What's happening here is the team reunites on the Malibu Express, which we now know we need to see this movie.
Yes.
And they're going to celebrate their victory, right? They learned that one of the pilots is actually keeping those diamonds and is willing to share it. You know? Friendship and all that. And
at the end of the day, that's what this movie is about.
It sure is. We get one last nonsensical catchphrase to really wrap it up.
A job worth doing is a job worth doing for the right price. Here.
Yeah.
Never heard of that phrase.
I don't, yeah. Nobody says it, that's why. That's not a...
Oh man, that is unfortunately the end of our adventure.
Now, what's great about the end of the adventure are the ending credits. The crates are brought back. It's more printed paper.
Crates. Hey, do you like crates?
I love crates.
Bigger, better.
But what's even better is in between the crate shots are boob shots. So pretty much every time...
Snowy, I believe you're talking about the end credits boob montage.
I am, in fact.
If you thought you had had enough boobs in this delightful film, let me tell you something, guys. You haven't.
No.
Because these ending credits, and I believe we even tried to tally the count.
We lost count.
At one point, I said 14 boobs. That seems like an obnoxious amount. So we should end here with our live watch movie thoughts.
Yes.
The fresh of the fresh. Wow. Oh my God, Noelle. Snowy.
Doctor.
No.
Doctor.
I don't even, I'm baffled. In the most enjoyable way. I just don't know what's happened, how we got here, how we'll ever be the same.
Oh, how will I ever go through life?
This movie had it all.
Honestly, the effects. There were some of the explosions were
Some
pretty
of those were
solid.
decent. A+
Yes, indeed.
You know what it sounds like?
I think I know what it sounds like. I think it's time for some real talk.
That's it. I did not think we would reach the apex of our fucking podcast on movie 2.
Absolutely not. This movie, I mean, if you're looking for something to change your life, this movie does it. If you're looking
absolutely
to laugh, yep. If you're looking for adventure, yep. If you want to see a movie with good-looking people, yep. If you want to see great background scenery, beautiful location shots, this movie's got it.
Not to mention that amazing theme song. You know, I don't know how I went this long without seeing this.
No.
We have to rate it.
We do.
We have to rate it. Do you want to go first?
No, I'm going to let you go first.
You're going to let me do it?
I'm going to let you do it.
All right. I'm going to go 5 fucking reels.
For a B movie, it had everything you could have possibly wanted. There are some very problematic parts in this movie. It is a 1987 movie. There are some parts that, if you are easily offended, like, don't watch it. But this movie was so fun. I'm going to give it a 4.5. And for me, I'm very curious to see how long it'll take before we get to a 4.5 for me again.
I am almost looking forward to what's going to 5 reel you. I'm an easy 5 reel. For me, I'm an easy date. Just take me out, give me a hot dog that's blistered.
I am a touch more discerning.
That's good. We need a good balance.
That means that our average is 4.75 reels.
You know what? Out of 5?
That's pretty
not
solid.
Fucking bad.
That's pretty good. That means
we're going into
the sombrero.
All right, so I picked the last one, which means that Snowy, it is your turn.
And the next movie will be Gods of Egypt.
Gods of Egypt. Tell me a little bit about this.
It didn't do well at the box office.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm out. I won't watch it.
Yeah.
I won't watch it.
What do you mean?
As a person that's seen it, great pick.
This is one of my movies.
Great pick.
And the movie that I will be putting back in
is
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I loved Pee-wee Herman growing up.
Okay.
Like,
now, tell me a little bit, because I was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me too.
Pee-wee is foreign to me. But what's happening here?
So, as far as the show?
Yeah, what is... He's a middle-aged man in a weird suit?
It was Pee-wee's Playhouse. And a lot of his furniture was alive, so it talked, and there would be word of the day, and if he said the word of the day, everybody would scream. Blue's Clues maybe ripped that shit off.
Blues Clues.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see you, Steve, or whoever was on Blues Clues.
Yeah, it was Steve.
It was Steve. Okay, I was right. I'm proud of myself.
Oh, it was Steve.
Oh.
It wasn't Steve.
I don't know.
It was Steve.
No, you're confusing me. So
I was confused of the message I was sending out. It was Steve, but it wasn't Steve.
Did Steve tell you that, perchance? Steve. Okay, we've got next week's sombrero pick. It's been fucking real.
So real, so awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you for listening.
What an adventure.
Just
looking forward to Gods of fucking Egypt with goddamn Jamie Lannister. You guys, Lannister always pays his debts. Thank you for listening to Real Fun Times, your favorite movie podcast.
Make sure to follow us online on Facebook at Real Fun Times Podcast, where you can also review us, or follow us online on Instagram at Real Fun Times, REELFUNTIMES. The thoughts and opinions expressed herein are solely those of the individual hosts, nobody else's. No one's.
Real Fun Times is not affiliated with or connected to any of the motion pictures, music, or other clips played within this podcast. All movie clips and music included in this podcast are the intellectual property of the respective copyright holders. They are included here for review purposes and absolutely no infringement is intended.
The scene right before that when the two of them are together, Kendall and Big Boobs.
Yes.
And
yes.
she says something like, what do you want to do? Da, da. And he says that he wants to suck the paint off her toes. I can't.
Let me tell you, Snowy is not overreacting. The immediate repulsion from her.
I hate feet.
Once that line
I
was
loathe
spoken,
feet. Fuck your feet. All right?
Intense.